Welcome to the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel, the #1 YouTube channel for you to level up your communication skills, learn the art of public speaking, social skills, and personal branding to take your message to the world. For today's episode, we're entering the world of public speaking, and I'm going to give you a very basic public speaking preparation list. One of the main reasons that speech anxiety is the #1 fear on the planet is mainly because there's not too much education on it. And when you lack clarity on something, what happens is that you get vagueness. And your brain, it doesn't like things to be vague. It likes clarity. And when you don't give it that, what your brain does is it assigns a negative perception to all the little misty stuff that you got going on. But with clarity, it doesn't matter on what field it is. When you have a basic level of understanding, awareness, what happens is your brain starts to calm down. And it's not just going to be understanding that will help you tame speech anxiety. You still got to practice, but understanding goes a long way. In today's video, I'm going to break down the public speaking preparation into 4 different components. One is going to be creation. The next part is going to be the preparation part. The third part is going to be what you do the day before. And the final part is going to be how you carry yourself and what you consume all the way leading up to your speech. With these 4 components, you're going to give your brain a strong level of clarity that it's been asking for so you can learn to tame your speech anxiety and conquer your speech. If you're ready to level up your public speaking stage presence, make sure you drop a like right down below and let's begin. So the first phase is creation. The minute that you hear that you're going to be giving a speech, a part of you is going to be very excited. And as some time passes on by, what's going to happen next is you're going to feel very anxious. But notice that both of these feelings are identical, but the perceptions are different. You see, anxiety is very similar to excitement, physical-wise. A lot of the body sensations are similar from the external realms. But your perception is different, mainly because for the anxiety part, you feel fear. You feel as though your life is on the line. Now here's the thing. This is still energy at the end of the day, and this right here is going to play a huge role in terms of creativity. Creativity is basically you getting your internal emotions and you're channeling it into a certain vehicle. In this case, it's going to be a speech. So yes, a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of worrying is good, but when you feel that energy, the worst thing that you can do is just sit down and do absolutely nothing. Or just start drinking or start watching TV, that kind of stuff. You want to use that energy for something. Either you want it to be something that levels up your awareness or it levels up your creation. Get all that energy and channel it into your speech. Now you should be asking questions like, what is it that my audience wants? Because remember, your speech is catered around their desires. In Josh Kaufman's book, The Personal MBA, he brings up 5 core human desires, which goes something like the desire to learn, the desire to bond, the desire to acquire, the desire to feel, and the desire to protect. These are the 5 core human desires. And if you can cater your speech somewhere around that, it will help tremendously. So normally it's good to ask the host what kind of audience is going to be in the speech. And if you have no clue what kind of audience that you have, then I highly recommend you target 2 of the human desires, which include the desire to learn and the desire to feel, also known as edutainment. It's when you educate someone, but you do it in an entertaining fashion, and that's my idea of storytelling. People love learning, so give them knowledge regarding something that you are passionate about, you know well about, you have some experience in, and the enthusiasm, the entertaining aspect will just flow out of it. But ultimately, you want to use all that energy into creating a speech. It doesn't need to be perfect because that's where stage 2 comes in. And this is practice. As you're going through the speech, you'll notice that there are certain parts that can be added, there can be certain parts that can be removed. But your main goal is to keep on polishing up the speech. There's a rule that I have called the 5 times rule. And this is basically where you have to get through your speech from beginning to end 5 times to perfection. No messing up. And when I say perfection, I don't mean recite the words verbatim, because what that's going to do is it's going to ruin your authenticity. I know a lot of people who practice like that. They just try to memorize their entire speech, but when they get on stage, they sound like robots. It doesn't sound good at all. What I mean by 5 times to perfection is getting from point A to point B and making sure that you're covering the core points of your speech. There's no stumbling, there's no, dang, I forgot. It's just going from point A to point B in a very smooth fashion. And as you're practicing, there's going to be a lot of times when you do forget a point, when you do stumble, when you do lose train of your thought. And when that happens, you just got to start all the way back from the beginning. And this is tough, especially when you make it down to the last 10 seconds and then you stumble. It doesn't feel good to go all the way back to the beginning. But just keep on doing this, because what the 5 times rule does is it allows the core points of your speech to now be inside your subconscious mind. When the core points of the speech are in your subconscious mind, you have much more creativity to experiment with your body language, to use your hands, to use your palms, to change up your tonality. But you gotta make sure you know the core points of your speech. I highly recommend you record yourself as well, because a camera is your best friend. Technology can truly be leveraged while you are in the practicing mode. Once you've successfully done the whole 5 times practicing method, the final day or 2 before your speech, you should just be relaxing. You should not be practicing hardcore the day or 2 before your speech. And typically what happens is a lot of people, that's when they begin practicing. That's pretty much just asking for speech anxiety. Please give me some speech anxiety, because you procrastinated. You'll see a lot of the time speech anxiety is due to a lack of preparation and mismanagement of your time. You want to give yourself this buffer zone just to disassociate yourself with fear and speaking. You want to be like, look, I've practiced, I did good. My trained reactions are going to overpower my stimulus of emotions. That's what's going to happen. So the day or 2 before, surround yourself with good people, make sure you get your adequate night's sleep, and pick your clothes ahead of time. One of the worst things you can do is rush this part the day of the speech. And trust me, I'm speaking from experience. There was this one speech I had to give where I did not get ready, and I was pretty much ending up very late to the event, and my shirt had a wrinkle spot like right here. And it was either iron the shirt or not be late to the speech, and I didn't want to be late to the speech. So I basically had to give the speech a little bit delayed, still had the wrinkles. It was not good. Get your clothes ready the night before. That's for the 3rd block. And for the final block, what you just need to do on the speech day is making sure you're consuming the right stuff. You'll notice that your body is feeling very, very heavy. Your eyes may be feeling watery, your mouth may be feeling dry, you may be feeling tired. And a lot of people reach for the coffee immediately when they feel like that. But this is a big mistake. It's a big mistake because you are naturally going to feel a certain level of nerves. Your body is going to feel heavy. And when you drink too much coffee, by the time that you get on stage, what happens is your voice starts quivering. It doesn't sound good. It sounds very jerky, out of loop. What you should be doing instead is putting the coffee down and leveling up on your water. The more water that you drink and the more hydrated that you are, the less the nerves are going to bother you. And I'm not going to say that you can't drink coffee at all. Go ahead, drink your coffee, but rather than chugging it, just sip on it and let your body guide you. Once you feel alert, don't overdo it past that point. Another tip is to avoid greasy food, because when you eat, like say a big KFC bucket of chicken and you go to your speech, you're not going to be good and punchy with your delivery. Instead, you're just going to be talking like this. Your shoulders are going to be slouched. Your eyes are going to be drowsy. It's not going to be a good look whatsoever. Public speaking, just giving a speech in itself, requires a lot of energy from you, especially 8 to 10 minutes. Your audience members may not notice this, but you'll notice it. And when you are eating very greasy food, it's going to be hard for you to maintain that energy throughout your entire speech. So instead of eating very greasy food, eat clean food or just snack a little. By clean food, I mean eat salmon, eat some chicken, eat protein, or eat some fruit for your snacks. Don't eat way too much. Save that for after you're done with your speech. That's how you're going to reward yourself. But that's about it. That's the 4 blocks that you can do to add clarity to your brain. The first block is creation. And this is when you are getting all this energy that you have and you're channeling it into your speech. Your goal is to target the human desires and make them better off than they were before they found you. You're going to do that by finding what their desires are and targeting that. And if you don't know their desires, then aim to teach and be funny or entertaining in the process. Once you have a general idea of your speech, you're going to now be practicing it. Keep on practicing and practicing and practicing, and you'll notice your speech is taking a cleaner, more polished form. Be able to get through it from point A to point B without messing up at all, 5 times. Once you do this 5-time rule, the core points are going to be in your subconscious mind, which gives you more freedom to play around with your body language. The third block is the day or two before the speech. You don't want to be practicing too much. You want to relax. The night before the speech, make sure your clothes are ready. Make sure you're picking clothes that are comfortable, that your collar is not choking you and you're losing your breath. Make sure your shoes aren't too squeaky. Prepare for these small preps the night before. And finally, on the day of your speech, stay hydrated and eat clean foods. Avoid over drinking coffee and avoid overeating a lot of fried chicken or any other greasy food. You follow this 4-block formula and it's going to give your brain a lot of added clarity. Look, you can't completely get rid of speech anxiety, nor do you want to. Remember what I said earlier, a flux of energy is creative energy. However, your perception is just tilting to the negative realm. You want to bring it back to the positive realm by taking effective action. And you're going to do that by creating your speech and starting the momentum from there. Good luck, and give yourself a pat on the back after you're done with your speech. There's going to be plenty of speeches throughout your lifetime, so you don't want to have scarcity mindset towards it. Be abundant towards speeches, and more great opportunities are going to be presented back to you. If today's episode helped you, make sure you drop a like right on below, and thank you for joining the Armani Talks YouTube channel.